Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Let's get some hellos in here real quick. Go back to the top. So Gizmo was the first one in the house, followed by the greatest name on the internet.
Bubble of fun.
Yep. And they were quite the chatty Cathys for a little bit. No offense to anyone named Kathy. Silver Linings in the house, as is Miss Louise and Eagle Lover, Texas. Terminators in the house. My buddy Indiana Mike. Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Yep. JB, how are you? Pat Wiley's in the house. And again, someone else I've known for quite a while. How are you? Oh, Gypsy's in the house. And Jules, thank you very much. Jules says, do your duty. Give it a thumbs up. Just helps reach more people. You know, you guys, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I don't do that much. I don't talk about please subscribe and all that stuff all that much, but it does help. Where are we at? One more rock. Good evening to you. Easy and Ron Benefield. Good evening. Oh, wait, there's more. Sorry. MJ from Wisconsin. How are you, my friend? Mossy Oak Parrot, not to be confused with Mossy Oak Patriot. In the house, right? Hello, Bonnie. All-American Prepper, how are you? Dana Green, Hilltop Home Place. All right, I think I'm caught up. We'll keep doing it as they come in because, you know, people, they come in kind of as we go along. ACM Homestead and Unique Prepping is in the house. Good evening to all you guys. All right. Well, I think before we begin tonight, good evening, Pack Rat. We've got two birthdays in the house, Eagle Lover, Texas, and Silver Lining. You ready?
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Eagle Lover, Texas,
and Silver Lining. Happy birthday to you. Many more. Okay.
Hey, did you do that to that window?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, the blind. It was driving me crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
Bird's Eye View Homestead is in the house. Tamara Smith, hello to you as well, as is Vicki Pullen. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, what do you got first? Pumpkin?
Good evening.
Let's get rolling. I've got all kinds of stuff on my list.
Well, I got a new tractor.
You
That's
did get a new tractor.
That's like fifth down on my list, but it is the most exciting tractor. Isn't she a looker?
Yeah.
Look at the tires, don't even have dirt on one side.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, this is me trying to figure out how to start it.
Well, it's you and also the person from the factory giving you the tour, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed.
I did bring in the owner's manual so I could kind of rummage through it. There's a couple things that I wanted to look up.
Yeah, you excited?
I am excited.
Now tell them the story about, you said, well, hold on. Let me catch up real quick. Dan Redding, good evening to you. What's up, my friend? Probably my longest friend that I've known.
How long is he?
Well, he's long. He's like 12 feet long. No. Carrie Davis, good evening to you. See, make sure I got everybody here. Midwest Ribeye, good evening. I think I said Dana Green already, didn't I? Not Dana Green. Good evening. Okay, we're back. So tell the story about how I duped you on the tractor.
Oh yeah, I was sitting in the kitchen and
this is brilliant.
I don't even know what
you guys. This is a brilliant moment. You have to listen.
I don't even know what you
important.
said, but it made me think for a second. Like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this tractor. This is so awesome, and he like talked it up, and then I'm like, wait a minute. You said that you wanted me to like start working on it. I was like, wait a minute, what? You want me to work outside? Like do the yard like work that you usually do with the skid loader? I was like, wait a minute. I bought it. Dang. And he said, your honey-do list is getting longer.
Okay, so I know this is going to take a lot of hard thinking, everybody. So we got to really, really buckle down here in this. Cheryl Seller, good evening to you. Leela, good evening to you. Life with Mike and Jen is in the house.
Hello.
Looking forward to seeing you soon. Okay, so we got to do some hard thinking on this. Okay.
Hard thinking.
Okay, this is super important. Okay. Why does someone buy a tractor?
I wasn't getting there like that.
So what do you think we bought it for? For you just to sit in there and listen to the radio?
I didn't get that far. Just to use around like I do my Kubota. To use a scoop of mulch here and there.
You guys heard her harass me about getting a tractor. And then I get a tractor. She goes, wait a second. I got duped. I got to work on it.
I have to. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What did you expect we were going to do with it?
You've got like 75 piles of brush out there that need to be picked up.
Yeah.
But good news, it's all in a pile. They're like all in piles. Good news. So I get to practice the
Grapple.
grapple
Yep, which would be cool.
with my new
Carrie Davis said we got it so the neighbors could use it.
joystick. So the noise.
Maybe that's the right answer, Carrie. Good looking.
No,
out.
I just thought like I would use it to go get a scoop of mulch to take to the garden. The things that like it would take me to have you do. Go get some wood.
Oh, so
Go
you thought
get-
we were buying a new tractor to help you with just the chores
Not-
you normally do?
Yes.
Oh, no.
To help me with my stuff I already do. Not
Oh my goodness.
for me to take over your job.
You don't suppose that some of the stuff I do, it's because you don't like driving the skid steer and so I help you out?
Yeah, no, I thought that
Oh
because
my
it was like,
goodness.
that's a man's job.
Yeah. You guys see what I have to deal with? You see?
Yeah.
Right. Like permanently on vacation. My beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bride lives in a land of cotton candy, rainbows, and fairy farts. The whole world just sparkles around you, doesn't it?
I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. It's kind of been like that my whole life. So
Yeah. Okay. What's on your list?
I like my new tractor. So it was almost 80 this last week. I had a day that I got to haul in wood and haul trash
Mhm.
in shorts in February. So that's
Did you hear that in North Dakota, there was a 62-degree change between 2 days, which was the fastest on record.
no, but that
62 degrees.
that's a big swing because I was out in shorts and came in, had a snack, went back out and went, oh, it's cold. The neighbor stopped over and she said, yeah, we got a cold front coming through, which is why I was out hauling wood. So I didn't realize that it was going to drop that fast.
Yeah, it did. Hey, by the way, let me see, make sure I got this right. Hey, Dorothy, good evening to you. And Miley wants to know, what is that workhorse's name?
I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet.
I'm going to get her because of this whole last statement. I think we need a big sticker in the back window that says, I'm on vacation. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Is that a winner or what?
I think that'd be cute.
Hey, go ahead, dork.
No, I think that would be awesome. So I also spent more time over at your mom's house this week. So just when I thought that I had it kind of manageable.
Hey, the most creative one among us, Indiana Mike says, name it Bob.
That I was thinking Bob, but
Jen says, how about Kitty? Because she's a bobcat.
Kitty. I like that.
Or Vicky Pullen says, B-cat.
Is it a Bob?
Yep. Gizmo said they loved your tour this week.
Yeah, I rambled a lot. I think you named that perfect.
Oh my goodness.
That
Yeah.
I didn't want to listen to it. So
Bobby.
Bobby
Vicky Bid's name.
instead of Bob.
Yeah.
Because it's a girl.
Yeah. Guys, that video that I put out, I love my wife and she is so talented in so many things, but filming is not one of them. I'm just telling you.
Nope.
It is not. That was 2 hours plus video that I edited down to 20 minutes.
And you're lucky those batteries ran out. Because had I had another couple batteries, it would have been even longer.
Oh, help me.
So that's what you get when you're like, go film something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? What do you want me to film? Anything. Just do your part. Plus a little bit.
Were you productive this week? Do your part plus a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, we're rambling.
Yeah. That happens from time to time.
Yep. So you got a big day going on tomorrow. What do you got going on tomorrow?
So I have some help coming to help with the garden. I've had my official
Well, it's not really to help with the garden.
first.
It's to partner with the garden.
Yes.
Very
I'm
different.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, I had my very first garden meeting with some folks. We're going to a garden together.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of worked together to figure out a list of things that we wanted to try. And then We're going to get together tomorrow and plant a few things that can go in now and get a plan for other things. So, like getting the sweet potato started or getting the onions going. I had a whole list of something somewhere.
Potatoes.
But yes, getting the potatoes out of the back room so that the crates of very leggy potatoes are out of there. And I'm not the only one with leftover potatoes to plant this year, because one of the gals was like, yep, I got some of them too. So we're going to get together. She's going to plant. Not she's going to plant. We're going to plant together all of the potatoes. And then when it comes time to harvest, we will work together to harvest them. And then we'll divvy them up, or probably process them first. And then I guess we hadn't talked about that, but I'm willing to do either do the processing here or
I'm really encouraging B this year to really push the boundaries of the garden. I think that, and I notice it in my work, and the things that I do, the supply chain isn't real great right now. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And there's been many, food, processing plants and chicken plants and all of that stuff that have burned and whatever. And, I know people, super creditable people who aren't in this lifestyle, who talk about how that's all energy weapon stuff. But either way, whatever's causing it, I think we should push our boundaries for gardening. If last year, you grew a tomato in a 5-gallon bucket, grow 2. Just do something. Just push those boundaries, just a little bit.
Or do potatoes in one.
Yeah. Let's see. What is that hole in the wall?
Oh, right here. This one. This hole.
That one?
Right here.
Oh, yeah. I knocked a chair down the stairs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep, look at that. There's potatoes and onions. Got potatoes and onions. Looks like you guys are going to be having a potato and onion. Yeah, Jen wants to know, potatoes in the ground or in a grow bag?
Ground.
Yeah. Hey, Susie, Greg, shall I do the chores? I bought my tractor because I like the smell of gas, and I used one in the hay field when I was younger. Cool. Do you like the smell of gas?
I like the smell of my new tractor. I thought it smelled very nice.
Yep. Boy, Jules, you were quite observant. Anyway, let me interrupt you.
What, the hole?
Yeah, so B had me print out a Google Earth basically picture.
Oh, I was trying to get,
right.
These are my rows. I was trying to figure out what, so this is what I had. The year before was just a piece of paper with rows. And actually, if you unfold this, there's different sections of the garden, because I kept running out of room. So then I thought if I printed out a map of it, I could actually write down what everything should be. And be able to reference back to it. So
Hancock says, Jules wants to rest our soil this year. Although there's part of me, Bud, by the way, Hancock's a good buddy of mine, a very, very smart guy. Should be MacGyver, not Hancock, because he's quite the man of a lot of talents. But anyway, part of me, Hancock, says that really push her not to do that, because again, things are just really, really weird. But then the other half of me says lucky guy, but I'll just leave it at that. Yep, Gizmo says, yeah, push the boundaries.
My thing is I just can't trust the food that I'm getting elsewhere. So it's like, if Tabletop Farm lived next door to me and I could just get their produce, I'd just support them, but they don't. So I have to take it upon myself to get some of the items that I can, because I know what's the inputs that have been involved, with all the...
Yeah, Eagle Lover says, Jules, hone in on your situational awareness. That hole's been there for months. Grateful Heart Ranch, good evening to you. Did I get anybody else in here?
The hole has been there for months.
Yeah, it'd been there a while.
Actually, it was like one of the first things he did.
Yeah. Oh, I'm falling behind. Hickshaw 54, good evening to you. Tim Riley, good evening to you as well.
But so I found the corn that I got from Big Kid, Bloody Butcher corn. Doesn't that sound delightful?
Fits right in this place. Hey, LJC, good evening to you. Hey, the instigator's in the house. Oh, he had a good comment up here a little while ago. I'll go back up and get it. Hey, Mo Engineer's here. Good friend of mine said just picked up some tomatoes, onions, and potatoes from the Amish today.
Hey, congratulations on your new edition.
Yeah. He says if you find it difficult, by the way, Mo, congratulations on your new edition. If you find it difficult to grow a garden without synthetic fertilizers and such, hoed what you can until you can learn how to grow without. Try not to use, but have just in case. Yeah, I think it's time that I'll get around to learning. That ship's sailing fast, everybody. And, you got to get out there and do it. You got to be intentional in what you do. You got to have a purpose, and it's got to be, by direction, right?
Yes, but there's only so much time in a day. So do what you can.
Yeah. Make sure I got everybody here. Yep. Dan Redding says bunnies make great fertilizer. But I've got a whole bunch of friends who raise rabbits, and they say that exact same thing. I just cannot, for the life of me, get myself to butcher those cute bunnies with such little. Wouldn't listen to me. There's another part of that with such little return. Like if I was butchering something really, really cute, but it provided a whole lot of meat, it'd be all right, But
so it's its cuteness that you can't.
No, it's just not to eat them isn't worth it to me. But
because there's less.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some of the other rabbits have more meat on them. The one we had was not very.
Yeah.
It was not. It was like a frog.
Yeah. You're right, Mazio, because I'm nervous about losing a growing season this year, but I know it's for the better long term. Hey, Skanes Girl, good evening to you. Dan says my rabbits are pets, not meat rabbits. Hey, Tom, good evening to you as well. Jim Botho, good. Hello. I think I said Skanes Girl. Skanes Girl, good evening. Do you still get proper? Let me see. Do you get a still to properly process that red corn? Yeah. I'm into that, right? Anyway, keep going.
Oh, garden.
Yeah.
We're going to breakfast tomorrow too.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're going to go to breakfast and then we're going to start planting. We've got to get some hash browns before we get to planting some potatoes. Yeah.
We have a local cafe here that's super like-minded. She opens the doors for us after hours just to let our community in, and we come eat. She got one coming up on the 12th. A big community dinner and that kind of stuff. But anyway, she got the best hash browns and the best bacon. She sources everything locally, local farmers, all of that stuff. And it's a good gig. Apparently that's why we're going.
We just planned that. So if you have not gotten an invite yet, then it's because we just did it today.
Yes.
So, but if you're interested in coming, just RSVP and we'll see you there.
Yep. One step closer. Good evening to you, my friend. All right.
Okay, well, we have a dinner going. We've already said that too, which was next. Did I tell you when did the cows get into the people barn?
Oh yeah, listen to this story. This was genius. I didn't say
on my part.
I didn't say any of that. I was on their part. It was genius on their part.
Well, they were successful. So the cows got into the people side of the barn because I barricaded the door to help air it out, and they have never messed with it until now. So they pushed the trash can that I had in front of the door over, ate the feed that was in it, went inside, pushed another can over, ate the feed that was in it, and then got into the turkey's pen and ate their food also. But in the process, they got trapped inside the people side of the door, so they could not come out. And I noticed that there's a wire that's pulled out of the pump, and it's chewed on. You can see it's chewed. It's there, but it's been pulled out.
So your management skills have managed to cost me a pump, cost me some water lines, now cost me wiring, and the feed to deal with it. Is that right? Did I get all right?
2 cans. So the neighbor came over and was like, B, this is a 911 situation. You got to get some minerals. You got to get some baking soda. You got to get some salt, mix it together, get it to them, make sure it's available. Because, that amount of sweet feed will bloat them and then possibly be worse. So he actually spent some time over there helping me coax the animals into eating some. I mean, that's what I was doing. He was carrying turkeys around. And he's all playing with her, petting on her. So anyway, another thing I found out, I have the turkeys. I have 2 homes for the turkeys now. So I think I've got a plan for all.
You want to talk? You want
disbursement
to talk about that real quick?
of
Hey,
my
Nitos made it. Welcome.
birds.
So what B is talking about is I got to find this slide because she's way ahead of time. So
sorry.
yeah, it's okay. So I don't know if this happens to you guys or us, or just us, but it seems like to me that living this life. So you guys have heard me talk about before that all prepping leads to homesteading, in my opinion. It just does, because you learn you can only store so much food. And if you remember the early days of prepping, I don't know if it happened for you, but we were super excited to have a case of macaroni and cheese on the shelf. And then you kind of make this evolution into homesteading. And at that time, you're just so excited to have 6 chickens outside, right? And then that leads to more and more and more and more. But
24, 48.
I think, or at least for me, I think what happens is I try to challenge these systems all the time. And I try to say to myself, okay, how can I create less cost or less energy involved in dealing with animals and those kind of things? And so I've done a ton of research over the last whole bunch of months trying to figure out what do I really want out of a bird and what do I really want out of a turkey and those things. And so I think we've settled into, we're just going to begin to raise one type of chicken and one type of turkey. So this caused us to have to get rid of, not really get rid of, but to help bless another homestead
or two
with the current turkeys we have, the ones that aren't the breed that we want to raise. And so we're going to show you guys what we're going to go to, what we think we're going to go to, and the reasons why we chose that, and also why this is what begins to separate homesteading and freesteading, in my opinion. I think as we begin to evolve more and more away from a homesteader and more to a freesteader, we begin to look at these kind of things. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. But before that, hello, Mandy Garrett. She said, just got baby chicks in this morning and tucked them into bed.
Aww.
Yeah, we've got some other new chicken owners in the house tonight. So let's talk about chickens first, right? So this is, I think, the chicken we're going to go to full time. And I'm going to tell you guys why. And this is not a debate of which chicken's better, because for everybody it's different, and for what they want is different. But what I was looking for was, which birds can I get that will offer me both egg and meat, decent egg production, can handle the cold, can handle the heat, because here where we live, we get huge fluctuations in both of those things. I also wanted something that was domiciled, but my single most important thing that I wanted was, what was the best foraging chicken, dual purpose chicken I could find out there. And so we chose the speckled Sussex chicken. And
Sussex.
Yeah, Sussex. Anyway, they're known for their dual purpose meat, egg, and you can provide 230 eggs per year. They're friendly and easy to handle, and they're excellent for foragers with a high tolerance in both cold and hot weather. This was really the only one that I ran into that checked all the boxes for me.
Yeah, that also was the best forager.
Forager was
the number one.
Right.
What do you call that? Check. The number one.
Well, wasn't number
requirement.
Yeah, it was super important that I get all those. But here's the thing: I'm trying to cut down on the amount of feed that I have to purchase or produce.
Yeah.
And we're already going to get locked into producing or paying for feed through the winter. But if I can get them to where they're super good at foraging, I have plenty of land, they can roam. Can I really cut those kinds of things down? And so this is kind of the chicken that I think we're going to go with, right?
Yeah.
And I'm super excited about it. And so we're going to begin to phase out our other chickens. It's not going to happen quick because we are still relying on them for meat. We still rely on them for eggs. But as time goes on, I'm going to begin phasing out our barnyard mix chickens, because that's what they are. They're all kinds of breeds. And
I have the majority of the one breed is the Bressies that I got from Gypsy, and I have quite a few of those.
Yeah.
But these ones, I think too, because of the coloring of them, they would like they would like camouflage in the yard better because of how they look. I think they would blend in with the terrain better than like the Bressies are all white. So you could see them,
real well.
Real well from far away. These also have a short comb, so less like frostbite issues with that.
Well, I think it's important to note that this is going to be different for everybody, because let's say, for an example, your biggest concern was you wanted the greatest amount of egg production you could get.
Yeah, which
that's going to be a different
bird,
because there's some that will get you 320, 340, eggs per year. You also might say, hey, what I really want is the meat, and so the bird you would buy for that would be different. You also may be blessed to have, a heated coop, let's say, so the cold tolerant isn't a big issue. It just depends on, I think, each person's need is different. And I think what we look for me, what I'm looking for is, how do I get as free as I can? How do I become less and less dependent on the system? In my opinion, in my research, the free man of chicken breeds is the speckled, right?
The free man, because it's
right.
doing more on
on its own. And I'm really excited about having that. Mo says, do you have any Sussex today, and how many? No, but I have 36 on order. So I've already purchased them and they're coming. But no.
And he bought sexed.
Yeah. And of those, I bought, I think 5 or 6 roosters, and everything else was female. I bought them all sexed. So that we can
supposedly.
Yeah. So we can get on that, right? So see a tag. Will you use tractors for your chickens? Tractor to me is a portable pen. Yeah. And we've talked about it a lot, but I think for me, what I would rather do is have the fixed paddocks, right? Where I'm rotating the animals through paddocks.
Well, on ours, they fly over the fence and they go where they want. On a chicken tractor, they are stuck in that tractor.
Yeah.
They are not going to fly over anything. And you go out and move it every day.
Yes. One step closer says tag wants dang near feral chickens. I do.
But he wants to touch them.
Yeah. Well, they were domiciled, but really what I want is I want them to fend for themselves.
Yes.
When you read into this, I didn't put all this stuff in here, but when you read into it, they got good eyesight, they got good predator awareness. The things that I think would be important, assuming you couldn't get them anymore.
Yeah.
Assuming you can't get feed.
Yeah. Which might be a possibility someday.
It might be. Or assuming you're not going to have access to a vet.
Right.
I mean, I think we need to start thinking in terms of being intentional, right?
Yeah. I'm
intentionally looking for a feral chicken.
Something to sustain us long term.
Right. Let me see here.
With minimal inputs.
Yeah. Packrat says, I hear you may still have more than one rooster with sex. Yes, I've heard that as well. The roosters will eat.
Yeah. So. Yes. They yes.
Yep. Nito says, I looked for a breed with the same needs as you, and I picked, I don't even know how to say that, Bielefelder, a German breed, but are identifiable male, female, so I can separate out the males for freezer camp. Yeah. And I think as time wears on, what we'll do is once we get them here and they get to that age, we'll start hatching the eggs.
Yeah.
And they'll be whatever they'll be. But what I'm trying to do is jumpstart that first set. Right. Okay, they're talking to each other. Okay, anyway, so
we may want to do that again then, because so we purchased these birds because we don't have a way to get them.
Mm-hmm.
So we purchased the birds. We may want to grow these up and then do it again. Purchase another set.
Yeah,
and then just get freezer the others, the barnyard mix. Because otherwise if I'm incubating, I'm incubating barnyard mix. So I'm continuously putting that back into process so maybe I should not be incubating eggs this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be concentrating on if what you want is a full flock of the same kind of bird, although it's like minimal effort for me to put them in the incubator and then just
we
feeding them.
We still need chicken to eat, and we still need eggs, right? As we're going through this process, right? Yeah, Mo says, are they broody? So what I read about them is that they're really great moms and like to go broody, but are not. Like we have broody hens that you ain't putting your hand in there, right? Without a glove.
Not I wear a glove.
Right,
I mean,
without a
some
glove,
of them
right.
they don't peck, but some of them are like, they
Yeah.
don't.
Life of Mike and Jen said you should probably have a couple of other folks get a few as well, so you can trade and keep the genetic diversity down the road. Yeah, I agree with that, and you know that might be a reason to the next batch if you were to order it from a different hatchery. So you're getting a whole different line, you know.
To make sure you're getting a different line.
Yeah. Yep.
That's actually smart.
Skins Girl says Tambra gave me feral chickens. Try petting one. Yeah, that's what I want.
Wow, congratulations.
Yep. Okay, so then the turkeys that sneak peek. Hold on, I gotta figure out where it went. Oh my goodness. I must have
Oh, you deleted it.
I might have deleted it.
Oh no.
No, I just in the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. So that's horrible writing. Anyway, so the turkeys that we're going to raise as Narragansett turkeys, and again, we've looked all over, and again, I was looking for the same thing: cold and heat tolerant. I was looking for the best foragers, good moms,
temperament.
Yeah, temperament, all of those kind of things. So we have 2 Royal Palms now, Spanish Black, Slate Gray. What are the other ones out there? We have Narragansetts already. And then we have a bunch of Artisan Blacks. And so we have taken those turkeys and they've gone to different, they're not yet, but we made the decision that they're heading off to other ones. I ordered 30 more Narragansett turkeys that will be here before long. So
the 2 we have now are both female.
Yeah.
So we need a couple toms and then several more females.
Yeah.
And then we will just grow our own from then on, hopefully. Because, if anybody who's ever raised turkeys know that they are so fragile.
Well, just when they're young. They're not now.
No, but
they're super tough now. But.
Yeah, when they're babies, when they're chicks.
Yeah.
They are,
Mm-hmm.
And they're not very bright. Like, they're really not.
Yeah. I don't care so much about the pure blood of them. That really doesn't bother me. But what I don't want to do is have to separate a bunch of animals. I want them all to free range, which is why having one is nice. But the other thing that what I'm really looking to do is how do I accelerate their ability to take care of themselves?
Why would you not want to make them purebloods?
What I'm saying is I don't really care so much about that.
Then why would you just why wouldn't you just keep the ones that you have and then just add new ones in? Because
that's why I'm looking for those specific traits. I don't want to breed out their ability to forage because I breed them to something else. I don't want those chicks that come to not have those traits. But I'm just saying the pureblood actually doesn't.
You're not registering them, but
right.
Yeah. Registering your turkeys.
Yeah. Jen says you got 30, so by the time you butcher, you'll have 5. Yeah, the last batch that we bought.
Oh my gosh.
How many Artisan Blacks did I buy? Remember? I don't think that many. I
thought you bought 20. I thought both times you bought 20.
Okay, so we bought 20 and ended up with 6.
Artisan Blacks.
And 6 lived.
No, 8. We have 8 now.
Okay.
And then
20
heritage and 6 lived.
Okay. Yeah.
6 out of 20.
I'm hoping B gets better about it.
Just like the first 3 days, it was like awful.
TJ in Georgia wants to know, B, where can you get that hoodie?
I ordered this from the lady that does ours. There's no other one like it. So if you want me to order one, send me an email.
Yep, tag and B. One of the mods want to put our email address in there, but TJ, just email us and we can get you one real easy.
These are those nice, comfy ones.
Yeah, but you gotta be patient because it's not like I order today and she does it tomorrow.
No.
So, but she's good at it.
And she doesn't even keep the shirts in stock. She has to order the shirt.
Hancock says we all know B really runs that place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she runs something. Well, she runs me.
Yes.
All right, so we talk about some stuff I've been up to before we get all the way through your list.
Sure.
So I've been working in my shower, as you guys can tell. This is one of the projects that I've been working on. I'm just trying to get it all showered in. I've got a lot of it tiled, not all of it. but we're getting closer. I haven't done the floor yet, but I will. You can see my beautiful window in my bathroom.
In the shower.
Yeah.
In the shower.
Yeah, I put a window in my shower. I also put one right next to the toilet because, guys, the thing is, out here, there's nobody here.
He wants to open the window.
Yeah, I want to be able to open the window. And if you look out that window when you're standing in there taking a shower, if you look out that window, you're looking over the pond and all of that stuff. So
it is nice.
It's really, really, really pretty cool. I'm very excited about getting it done and getting moved into pod 4. So I've been working on that. And then in B's master closet, she wanted a big closet. And so I've been working on getting all that built. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but one of my pet peeves has always been, I don't like it when you go into the bathroom and there's makeup and lotions and potions and all this stuff all over the countertop of a bathroom. It just drives me up a wall. And so we agreed that when I built her master closet that I would give her a place for all of those things, right? Yep.
He doesn't want to see my stuff.
Yeah. And so I built her this. And so this is, I should have taken the picture lower, but it's basically a big desk. And it's just constructed. So it's not finished. You know, we got to get it all painted and all of those kind of things. So I got that all wrapped up. And so there's so many shelves and little places for all of her little stuff that, you know, maybe that will help you and help me not have anxiety because
you could just close your eyes.
Yeah, I could. You could just close your eyes. Let me see. What's it say? I so want to be somewhere that would be possible, but alas, not to be. That what would be possible? That you could have a window? Oh, that you could have a window in your bathroom? Yep, Gizmo says, nice shower. Thank you. Greg and I are going to order more hens so we can have one breed of chicken. Yeah, I think it's just part of our progression. I don't want to say it's for everybody. But for us, I think that's what's best is that we continue to hone in on those things. And a year from now, we might totally say, well, foraging isn't what we really needed. What we really needed was egg production, right? Who knows? But
or maybe the Sussex aren't the ones that we end up with. Maybe.
Right. We're gonna give it a run though, and we're gonna get to know them and all that. You know, we've got 5 years at it, but again, I think it's a matter of being intentional and being purposeful in your decisions. Mandy says I'm awesome to build that for you.
Oh, that's just one part of it too.
Oh, yeah.
It's the whole. It's custom. It's exactly the way I want it, within reason.
You see, we ordered 15 hens and 2 roosters, and they sent us 5 extra, so we have 22 total instead of 17. Oh, good for you.
Oh, wow.
We get in the height of it probably in August. We'll probably have 160 or 70, 80 birds, maybe 200 birds out there, because we'll hatch a lot, through the year, and then all the roosters will get eaten, but we'll get there, won't we, baby?
And then winter comes.
Another cool thing. So I don't know if you guys know how proud I am to wear a Freeman hat, and I've given lots of them away to lots of different places. When people, I got the email. Anyway, so I take great pride when people wear my Freeman hat, and so I wanted to show you guys something. Here's the latest culprits. I know you guys know or most of you guys know who all those people are. So the first girl and her husband, that's Louise Milliman and her husband Ryan, and they live off grid in Georgia. I've become pretty good friends with them. Super great people, homeschool and doing it all the right way. You guys know Billy Bond from the middle, right? And then obviously Caroline, right? Callie Blackwell, who I've had on my channel, numerous times.
So did she make that? Did she put that together?
Yeah, that was her post on Facebook. Oh. I pulled all of these off of somewhere.
Oh.
And so they're posting it. I really liked Billy's because his tag was, reduce your dependence, 1 year of food production, why community is crucial.
I love that.
And so I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, I just thought I'd share it with you guys. And hey, Chris White, welcome. Hope you're driving safe. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys because I think, I just think that's super, super cool. I get a lot of pride over it.
And then it's fun to see people wearing your hat.
And it's fun to see people wearing my hat. Yeah. And I never thought when I made the first one, that it would turn into all of that, but it just has. And I'm super thankful for it. It's neat for me to see them. Like if we go to a convention or I go somewhere, Usually there's somebody out there walking around in a Freeman hat or a shirt or something, and it just makes me smile, which is pretty neat, I think. What else have I been up to? Okay, so community building update. So I've got most of the dirt work done. I'll show you guys some pictures real quick. So as you can see, we leveled this whole area here. This is where the community building is going to be, not just the building itself, but the commons area out front, right, where we can, have some picnic tables and, some of those kind of things out there. Jane, good evening to you. Should I miss nobody? Nope. Okay.
You can see the back where the hill was cut away. How deep is that?
Yeah. So
how tall
that's
is that?
about 4 foot deep, that cut off that hill. And again, all I had to do is just flatten it out. Right. And then what I'll do now is we're going to come back in and excavate the footings out, which will be 30 by 60. So we'll cut them out of the ground, and then I'll have to remove the dirt. But I know you guys don't know this, but there was a gigantic pile of dirt, in it. Let me see here. Kathy Garner says, B, I love your makeup closet. Yeah,
I'll never come out of the closet.
Yeah, I think it is super cool. And I made her as
Like
many places as I could make.
And I can have my notebook out, and I can leave it out, and I don't have to always put it away because somebody's coming, or why is your stuff all over?
Yeah. I'm excited. So does anybody have any guess on what I did with all that dirt? Because you see that little pile in that picture? That's a tiny pile. That was the topsoil we peeled off the top so I could save the topsoil. But that's an itty bitty pile. The pile that actually came out of here was 10 times that size. So it was big. Let me see here. Manny says, I can't wait to see how your community building and Airbnb all comes together, because that's part of my dream on my property too. Yeah, well, hopefully we can learn together, right?
Yeah, we're trying to figure things out. Trying to figure out layout.
What? I missed something. Mo says, tag, if you can't see the tampons, how are you going to plug the bullet hole quickly? What did I not see? He lost me.
Oh, because you don't want to see my stuff all over the bathroom.
Oh. All right, I get it.
I got you, Mo.
Yep. It's Mandy Garrett says you will use those dirt to make the road to the community. Is that right? Yep. Indian Man and Mike says swells. Yep. Well, the answer is I built a road, and so you can't really see it, but all that dirt went in this hole. There's a big, and I'm gonna show you guys pictures. There's big ditches on either side, and we're going to go right across and through those trees so that I have a separate driveway into the community building. Right. So like if you're looking, I'm standing on that road. So if you're looking, the very first picture you see is looking up towards the pond. The second picture is up towards the pond. And the last picture on the right is looking in the other direction.
How do you have two towards the pond and they're two different?
Well,
looks?
the middle one, I took it because just from a different place of that road.
Of the dam.
Right. Oh,
hi, birdie.
I didn't want that bird in there. What do we got going on here? Okay, let me go back. So I built a road. And I know before anybody says it, they'll say, where's your pipe? I don't have them put it in yet. I'm going to put it in.
Which kind of looks weird because it already looks like the road's built. The pipe is not in it.
But if you actually look real close, babe, that road, there's a big dip in it, which is where the pipe's going to go. But I have to, before I can put the pipe in, I have to do what's called dressing the front and the back side of the dam, which is to slope it out. And I don't want to put the pipe in until I have
Wouldn't it slope it out itself?
Huh?
As you're driving, won't it slope it out
It'll
itself?
It'll settle some. But I need to actually dress it out. Which is what I'm working on now.
Like you drive on the edge?
No, well, once I get that road kind of built across, I'll be able to turn my skid loader and just dump it over the edge. And I'll slowly work it down into to like make it wider. Kind of a ramp to make that base a lot wider. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now I'm like, please don't rain, please don't rain, please don't rain.
But unfortunately, I don't have any more dirt. And so I got to dig those footings out so I can get more dirt so I can go back to work on
my beautiful you think you're going to have enough?
I don't know if I don't. I mean, I've got.
Is that what the topsoil was for?
Well, I'll use it if I have to, but I saved it because once we build the community building, I'll bring all that topsoil back in.
Yeah.
With all the organic matter that's in it.
And then we'll get the stuff planted in and around it.
Yeah. Let me see. Half Bubble Off Plum says, are swells meant to be made on any type of land? Flat, hills, mountains, etc. Just one type? I don't recall ever seeing any in North Florida. Well, our swells, I'll take a picture one of these days for you guys and I'll show it to you from the air. So I took a north-facing slope, and I purposely did it on a north-facing slope because where we live, that's where fruit trees grow best. And I built a dam at the bottom of it so I could fill up a pond, and that's pond 3 for us. We have 4 now, but that's pond 3. And then I swelled down that hill so that what I could do is make the water run in big S's. So the water's got through all the swells before it can get to the pond. And so I do that because that retains the water. And it's not just an S. It's more like every time you turn a corner and you hit a swell, it's more like a cup. Because what it'll do is that water turns that corner, and then that water fills up right there and sits a little longer. It's not deep. It's not any of those things.
Yeah, it doesn't create a pool or anything.
No.
Well, I mean,
it does.
The very bottom one did for a month.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it again on super steep stuff, but for what we've got, it worked out pretty good. Hey, Amy B, welcome. Swells aren't always needed to depend on topography. 100%. Swells aren't meant for anything more than a 20-degree slope. I haven't tried on anything steeper, but
what's our slope?
Oh, that's not anything like that. Maybe 10 degrees, maybe. They're designed to slow the water down so it soaks into the land. Yep. And I built, and you guys seen in B's video that came out last this week. I built tons of swells, tons and tons and tons of swells. So she only has plants in about half of them now.
Yeah, there are several that have mulch on top of them, but nothing in them. Nothing planted in them.
Jen says asparagus grows great on swells.
My asparagus hasn't done so well where it's at.
Not on a swell.
Maybe I need to move it.
Listen, maybe. Horseradish did great.
Yes,
Comfrey did great. What else has done great down there? Your berries. I don't remember what they're called. Elderberries.
The elderberries would do much better if I can get the deer to.
Have you looked into local dirt movers that need a place to dump soil? So not necessarily dirt movers, but because we've got out here where we live, lots of cattle ranches. And what they do is every so often they push all that manure up into a pile, and you get the right ones who don't spray, who don't do those kinds of things, which we know a few. After a couple years, those piles get gigantic, and then they give the manure away. And so I bought 3 years ago, I bought 500 tons of 10-year-old manure. And a year ago, I bought another 500 tons of 4-year-old manure. And that's what we use to make pretty much all of our gardening, everything. And I can get it super cheap. All I got to pay for is the trucking.
Yeah, because the farmer's anxious to get it out of his field.
Yes. Mo says, Tim, do you know the minimum slope for swells to be useful? Yep, and teamwork does make the dream work. I think I've been through what I'm up to. Yeah, what about you? What do you got next? Before I get into the news.
Yeah. Okay, so I tried to.
Amy B says horseradish and comfrey don't count. They are the nuclear Holocaust survivors. You can't kill them.
Yep. They don't count because they grow anywhere.
Yep.
My I've tried planting horseradish at the other house and it didn't take.
Mm-hmm.
Might have had something to do with the dogs.
You have beautiful horseradish now.
Yes. It's like, I think I should probably break it apart and move some other places to make it. Anyway, so a couple things. I went to the bank to get cash, and there was so much going on. There was a lady who had walked in right behind me, an elderly lady who was just wobbly and loud and obnoxious. And I had asked for cash, and the lady counted it back to me. And I was like, no, I don't think that was right. And she was like, oh, I think it was right. And I was like, no, I think you were off. And so she took it back to the back to have it like counted on her machine. And when she brought it back, she didn't bring me all of my money, but she put it in the envelope and handed it to me. And I said, can I have the slip that you wrote all of your notes on? So I brought it home and counted it. And it was like almost $1,000 off of what she said I had, what she double counted. And then I brought home. So I was like, I'm like, oh my God, they are not going to believe me, because it's my word against whoever. So I called the bank, and the guy was like, let me do an audit and I'll call you back. And luckily he found it. But I was like, oh no, that's crazy. Well, this lady it was like fraud waiting to happen. This lady who walked in right behind me was just like knocking over the pen container and was like so close to me, like she was touching me. And I'm paying attention to the lady, and she's counting my money right here in front of me. And this lady is right here, like touching me. And and hey, did you try this candy? These are the best candies. And just like trying to take my attention away from what was going on. And I was so uncomfortable with it. But anyway, that's why I asked for her notes, so I could take everything with me, so I could have some kind of proof to go on. But anyway, long story short, they found it, and he just deposited my money back into my account. So then I went to a local store and was going to purchase something, but she said, "Hey, our machine is not working. So if you have cash, then I can help you. And if you don't have cash, I cannot help you." And I'm like, well, okay, well, let me look and see what I have for cash. And I did not have enough. And I'm like, I don't have enough. And she's like, well, I can't help you. And so I walked out. I was like, well, wait, we're supposed to be going to this digital, wonderful, this is going to help because we don't have to carry cash. And the one time I don't have enough cash to get what I wanted, I had to walk out without it. So I felt that was like, yeah, you can't trust that. That's not going to be.
Hey, Johnny, good evening. Yeah, well, let's talk about banks. Want to talk about banks for a little bit?
Sure.
So, as you guys all know this, and I know this is nothing new, but last year we went through a bunch of banking crises. This year, there's probably going to be, I know there's going to be a whole lot more, but there's something interesting happening with banks right now. I don't know if you guys are aware of it or not. But I got to tell you a little story before I can get to the actual point, which you guys don't mind that I, rant a little bit, right? So I'm sure you guys have heard that a lot of big CEOs of banks have been selling a lot of their stock.
I heard that. I did, and I'm not usually listening.
Okay. So JP Morgan, who's the CEO, Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan, sold off $150 million of his shares in his first ever sale. So in the 11 years or whatever he's been there, he had never done it before, and he sold it off. And there's a lot of other, presidents and CEOs of people selling it. New York Community Bank Corp stock, which is a huge bank, fell 30% as CEO exit. So why would CEOs of banks and this stuff going on, why would they be pulling money out? You have any idea, babe?
They need cash.
You think they're poor on cash? You think Jamie Dimon's poor on cash?
I think he wants to buy rice and beans.
Yeah, good answer.
And you have to have cash to do it.
Yeah, good answer.
There's a credit card machine broken.
Yeah. Hey, Mo, Tim responded. I'm going to put it up here since I read your question, but I'm going to keep tracking on this. So there's got to be a reason why they're doing that, right? I mean, there's got to be a reason why would they want to cash out? And I think what it says is that they think it's worth more now than what it will be worth later.
Right?
Right? I mean,
they're going to turn it into hard assets.
Yeah, but there's something weird about to happen with the banks that I don't know if everybody's aware of or not. And so let me see here. Yep, here it goes. So if you guys remember, now this is old stuff. If you remember back to 2020 when COVID was going on, which is why I pulled these. Like this is actually dated March 16th of 2020. I know it's super small.
You can see that?
Yeah. I have, bam, power glasses.
Mine are not that good.
Anyway, so what they were saying back then, and if you remember what was going on in March 2020, the COVID was going on. The Federal Reserve saying the coronavirus outbreak has harmed communities and disrupted economic activity in many countries, including the United States. And they've cut the interest rates to essentially zero on Sunday and launched a massive $700 billion quantitative easing. I'm not going to read it all, but really what I want you to understand about this is in March of 2020 during COVID, they moved to where they would loan money to the banks at 0% interest.
Oh.
Okay. Super important. Then also at that exact same time, the Fed also cut its reserve requirements to thousands of banks to zero. So let's talk about this real quick. So what is a reserve requirement? Well, all financial institutions, whether it's banks, insurance companies, whatever it is, if you're holding people's money, you have to keep a certain percentage of that in the bank to make sure that if someone comes in to get their money, you can make
that
good.
Makes sense.
Okay, well, so the reserve over time has gone down.
To what they have to hold in.
Well, it used to be 100%. Not long ago was 10%. and then it moved all the way to 3%. And then now the Fed says 0. So this is what this means. No matter how much money you deposit in the bank today, the bank doesn't have to have any money there. They don't have to keep any in there because they remove the reserves to 0. Okay.
Wow.
Super important to know this. So, and they did this through what was called the Bank Term Funding Program, or the BTFP. Okay. Which I put up there on the screen. So something interesting though is about to happen in this. So I don't know if you know or not, but in 2023, so just last year, we had what they called the Great Bank Collapse, Silicon Valley Bank. And these are year-old articles. There was more damage caused in the bank collapse of 2023 than there was of 2008, 2007, and 2009, right? There was more retail. But we got to remember that these banks collapsed while the feds had a 0 interest policy. They could get money at 0% interest, and they still collapsed. Okay, this is important to remember. Okay, I'm just going to give you the facts before I get to it. Oh, we don't want that one. Oh, let me
or
go back.
that one.
Oh my goodness, where am I?
You are
Apparently my whole slideshow
disheveled.
is all messed up. Anyway, so let me go back. I don't know where it's at. I'll just tell you
It
guys.
was probably before it.
Okay, so here's the thing. On March 11th of this year, that program to loan at 0% expires.
Okay.
The feds have already announced they're going to allow it to expire.
Okay.
Okay. So on February the 11th, they're no longer going to be able to borrow at 0% interest. What this means is
February 11th?
this February 11th.
February 11th is over.
I'm sorry, March 11th. This March 11th.
Okay.
So in 10 days from today, they're no longer going to be able to borrow at 0% because interest rates are rising and the feds aren't going to be able to keep up with it.
Okay.
So what this does is it forces the banks to go back to holding reserves. Okay, and this really, really matters because if you think you saw a bunch of banks collapse before, wait till now.
Yeah.
Wait till the feds now put them on, and it just snap of a finger, put them on an adjustable rate mortgage. So imagine being at a 3% mortgage on your home, and the next day they come to you and say, hey, we're going to put you in an adjustable rate mortgage. And that adjustable rate mortgage is now 5%, 6%, 7%, now 9%, right, on the mortgage.
Yeah.
And how much difference that makes on your life. They're all about to get this.
Big difference.
So basically,
so they're going to start calling in their loans.
Well, who knows what happens here? I mean, good banks will still be around, but any bank that's even close to teetering, this is going to send them over because now they're going to have to hold all those assets, right? They're going to have to hold all of those. And so I would predict you guys will see a fair amount of bank closures coming up, and you're going to see them pretty quick. So once the March 11th deadline comes by, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I mean, the ones that are on the edge will go pretty quick. And so why would the government, amongst everything that's going on right now, want to see banks collapse? Thanks, Jules.
What?
Oh, she just said that program is due to be drained in March. They won't have any money for it anymore, right? Which is why it's being discontinued. Right. The thing I think what's so important to know about this is that this is a great way for our government and the powers to be to federalize the banking system. And right, because if they go, they can buy up those assets. They can get a little more control. I don't see any other reason why they'd allow it to happen when the economy's already shit. Inflation's already bad. Why not just print some more money? It's just printing money, right? And just keep it going for another year and hope we live to fight another day. Hey, Squatchy. Good evening. Hilltop. Good evening.
And then that's where the CBDC comes in.
And as Tim says, that's where CBDC comes in. Drum roll. Yep. So be aware, guys, about what you leave in a bank. I'm telling you this. It's quit being afraid. I know it's scary, but you got to go be intentional. Just like we've been talking about all night long. Be intentional with take some of that control back. Now, maybe if you don't feel comfortable having cash on hand, get 7 different banks, whatever it is. But you got to do something, guys, because I'm going to tell you when they start requiring them to hold reserves and then start borrowing at an adjustable rate issue. Yeah, it won't look good,
Well, an adjustable rate is even worse.
Yep, it'll pull a lot of credit out of the system, lowering the official inflation rate. Also true, right? Because there'll be less of that going on, which maybe makes them feel better, They're definitely trying to destroy the economy. I think they are too. I do. Yeah. Why? One of the reasons I keep minimal amounts in both my accounts. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, DR says been stacking silver $50. Yep, I like silver. I like gold. The only thing I like better than them is land. But
Buy dirt.
yeah. So the coffee cans buried in the backyard aren't safe. Laugh out loud. Yeah. That's up to you. I'm not giving any financial advice because you'll get me in trouble. I like coffee cans just fine. Yep. G. John says Feds will delay their June 2022 quantitative tightening restart until after the election. Still 7.7 trillion to go. Isn't that insane? Yeah. Hilltop says my credit union got locked out for 2 days per the AT&T situation.
Mm-hmm.
You could use the ATM but not go to the bank. Guys, that's the thing is, like they right? Cyber attack. Let's not even talk about our crooked government, right? But our enemies overseas, one big cyber attack, and you're not going to the bank anyway.
Right.
You're not pumping fuel. Fuel's not coming to your house, right? If let's say you're in the city and on natural gas, electricity's not coming, right? There's nothing coming. It's all computerized. So, Hippocrates says, don't hold on to it too long. Those Confederate dollars aren't accepted anymore. Yeah. And that's the gamble, right? But I think I would rather have control of it. Because just like your example of our credit card machines are down, right? For whatever time it was, because once it's not worth anything anyway, what does it matter? But I do agree with you, Instigator, in that I'd be buying assets if I could. If I was in a position to buy assets, I'd be buying assets. One Step Closer says, if it was me, I'd pay off debt and put money into income producing assets. That's great advice. Yeah, Mimi B says, good song, Buy Dirt. I probably missed all kinds of good comments up there, but sorry, guys, they just blow right on by. Pete says, yesterday, my bank guy said we won't see a digital currency in our lifetime. Interesting.
Really?
Yep. They need to collapse the economy to bring in the new world order crap. Well, they all need to do it for another reason too. They need to collapse the economy so they can bring in some other type of currency, because at $34 trillion in debt and counting, they're never going to get it paid off. Let's just say my CU just got bought out.
Credit union
just got bought out by the larger one. Yep. Hippocrates said, I just bought orange. Kubota orange. Yeah. So anyway, I think the whole banking thing is super fascinating. I think you've got CEOs selling out. I think you've got this rule changing coming up. I think you've got the economy going in bad shape. And but as the experts say, invest for the long term. Don't worry about the dips. They'll come right back.
Yep. Be intentional.
Right? Be intentional. Amen. You want to go? I got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Go ahead.
Okay, so I had a girl who asked, a lady who I'd been given eggs to for quite some time now. And I had continued to say, you need to get chickens. You need to get chickens. You need to get chickens. And I had said, if you get chickens, I will give you eggs or if you get an incubator, I will give you eggs to incubate. And then the whole science experiment, and her and her son can do it together and have a, learning moment. And so she sent me a message and said, my husband bought me an incubator. Can you give me some eggs? As you said, you would give me eggs. And I said, yes. And so I gave her 6 dozen because she said that her incubator held 41 eggs. And I thought that if I gave her enough, she could pick through them. And you know how I do. I'm like, is this one round or is this one pointy or this one bigger? And so then she can just go through them all and candle them and see if there's any cracks in them and see if they're good. And she had plenty to look through. So, she called me and she said, okay, I picked the ones that I want. Do you want me to bring you the eggs back? The ones that I didn't use. And I said, no, I don't want the eggs back. Keep them, do whatever, do whatever you want. Dog food if you don't want to eat them. And so the next time I saw her, she said, I said, did you get the eggs in the incubator? Is everything good? How's it going? And she said, yes. And my husband bought me another incubator because I had so many extra eggs. So now she says she has 2 41 egg incubators. And I said, so if they all hatch, then do you know what you're going to do with the 82 birds? And she goes, no, I don't know what do I need to do? I was like, oh no. You got like 20 days, lady. You better find something to do with them.
B has done such a good job with this chick. She has slowly nursed her along to turning into a total prepper. She don't know it. Oh yeah, tell her about that. Tell her about that. That was funny.
She does not. I said, hey, so-and-so said that he was a prepper. And she goes, no, he did not say that. Why would he say that about himself? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, what a, she said a word, but she said, what a bad thing to say about yourself. Why would he go and tell Rowdy of all people that
because I'm a guy's guy.
Because he's a prepper. And I was like, you say that like that's a bad thing. And she's like, well, yeah, what's he like prepping all the dinner and doing all the kitchen work? And I was like, oh my gosh. What? And she's like, what? Why would he refer to himself as a prepper? That's such a feminine thing. So yeah, she thought a prepper was somebody that does all the prep work in the kitchen. And I said, you gotta love foreigners.
Yeah, she's from Canada, but that was funny.
They know what a prepper is in Canada.
I know. There was a couple comments.
That was just hilarious that she just was going on and on about. Why would you refer to yourself as that?
Jen says it could take quite a while to wrangle in all that cash that's out there. American currency is everywhere. No, it'd be super, super easy. So we're moving to digital. You have till Friday to turn in your cash or burn it.
Or you won't have
Or they don't even say that. They just say it's just not worth anything after that. We're all going digital.
You can't use it at the store. You can't use it at the, right?
Yeah.
You can't use it anywhere. Right. No one will take it.
Yeah, Moses Bitcoin hit 62,000. I've seen that. And you know what? I've been tempted many times, but no, I'm out. I just don't trust it. And, we'll just have to go. We have to go from there, right? Yeah. Well, there's more degrees. Oh, that's good. Johnny says, cool. Then I could use a dehydrator to incubate the eggs. No, you can't because they need humidity, right? And I don't think that
you want to put humidity in there.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's humid.
Humidity out.
Right. Correct. That's where I think you'd run into the problem. But I'm not a pro at that. That's way more beast thing.
Yeah, because you got to keep the humidity up in it.
Yeah. All right, ready to keep rolling?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so let's talk about the next thing I got on my list, huh? So you guys know all the fires that are going on in Texas, right?
I just learned about this. When did this start?
Oh, 3 days maybe, two or 3 days ago. But it looks like as far as where it's going, but what's so interesting is they got a little bit of weather, which kind of slowed it down a little bit. But now they've got winds. That bottom picture on the right are the winds currently.
The gusts?
The gusts, 30 mile an hour gusts. And this is, to put this into context, babe, this is a fire or a series of fires, right? There's like 6 of them.
How are there 6 fires?
Yeah, there's 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that middle picture.
How are fires in multiple locations?
Well, we're going to get to that. I don't know how. There's some theories, but it's over 1 million acres that's burning. And if it stays on its way, it's going to go through Kansas. Like if you look at the wind gusts are heading straight up. Yeah, it'll run through, parts of Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, and keep going on, which has got me thinking a little bit about fire safety, right? And, what could I cut down or what could I, create that, would help just a little bit. But yeah, so you've got basically 5 fires. The biggest has 1,075,000 acres. Then there's one with 2,000 acres, 3,000 acres, 142,000 acres, and 30,000 acres, all burning at the exact same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's devastating.
There's suspicions that it was started by the same thing that started Hawaii and Chile. Yeah. And directed energy weapons, you guys, are here. I'm telling you they're here. I don't know. I have no evidence, no proof that this is what caused it. But I know a lot of people who aren't conspiratorial, aren't these kinds of things, who work at fairly high levels and those kind of things, who talk about this stuff all the time. And even some of it to go so far as to say we've been at World War III for a while. And it's just how new war is being fought, and that we have the same actors, overseas doing it that they have here doing it. It's not a coincidence that you see all of these, combat aged men from China and Russia and all these things coming across the border. None of this is all a coincidence. I mean, there's absolutely a reason to have it, but prayers go out to our, brothers and sisters down there for sure. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where I left off. Let's just pick one. That's right where we would. That's right where we would drive through on the way up there. Glad we're flying on the next trip. Yeah. Oh, you better paint everything blue. Yeah, blue roof, says Carrie Davis. Right. Well, right. Mo says wind drops power lines. I agree they do, but that still seems pretty odd that you'd have all of those going at one time. That big windstorm came through and did that, and that also doesn't explain Hawaii or Chile or
yeah. Other than Hawaii and Chile, this has happened before. This is not the fires all over like
no.
This.
I mean, think about all the chicken processing plants that blew down. That wasn't a power line, or maybe one of them was, but certainly not all of them, right? And there's just a lot of this stuff that goes on that I think, I think this is Tim's got this exactly right. This is 5th generation warfare. Yeah, could not agree more. Hey, sharpshooters in the house. What's up, buddy? He says, hey, everyone getting in late. We all have the Black Plague.
Oh, no. You guys need anything?
Yeah. But I will tell you some good stuff. These, oh my goodness, what happened to my pictures? Something changed when I swapped this over. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of trucks coming south out of Texas with hay.
They're coming south?
Yep, they're headed to Texas to help. Because did you know that over 90% of the Texans' cattle operations are affected by this, whether it's smoke or fire or whatever it is.
The animals too.
Yeah.
So then that will be an issue for food.
And think about all of the chicken processing plants and beef and hog processing plants and food processing plants, and now this, and the crops. I just think that they're either this is the biggest coincidence ever in the history of time, or this is war, right? I mean, there's a lot that's gone on, and I think it's crazy to think that. Again, I read today over 90% was affected. 90% of the beef out of Texas, right? I mean, that's a beef
90%.
state. 90%, and it's going to roll through Oklahoma if they don't stop it. It's going to roll through Oklahoma and then Kansas, all big states. Quick way to wipe out animal agriculture, and the owners get insurance payoff. Eat the bugs and all.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yep. Here too, it's like Oprah. You get the flu, and you get the flu. Everyone gets the flu. Yeah.
You get the flu. You get the flu. You get the flu.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? It's. I also think it's interesting that right now the powers that be hide everything from us. There's things going on. Did you guys know there's riots going on all over the globe? Right now, as we speak, I don't know how many of you guys even know that. They have little stuff in the U.S., the trucker thing in New York and some of those kind of things. But let me show you what this is, guys. All I did is pull these pictures today, right? This isn't a collection. I came up here early, said I'd go get ready for the live. So let's go through some of these. So the bottom one on the right is massive crowd of farmers protesting outside Welsh government. I cannot see that one. The next one says, well, that's Spanish. So the farmers are dumping hay on the roads in Spain. Yep. And then 20,000 Spanish farmers make their way towards the European Union Commission headquarters in Madrid, right? Or what about massive convoy of tractors heading to, that's the same Spain one. Farmers smashed through police gates at the European Union headquarters. Massive farm protest in Poland yesterday.
These are all farm.
Meanwhile, in France, right? If it looks like a revolution, if it smells like a revolution, it's probably a revolution. You won't see this on mainstream news, says concerned citizen out of Germany. Hundreds of farmers take to the European Union headquarters in Brussels to protest the growing concerns in the agricultural sector. Right? Belgium farmers smashed through police barricades. And again, guys, this is just today. Right? I mean, turn on. I am so disappointed in Fox News. It's my least favorite of all of them now. You want to tell you why? Because at least all of the rest of them have their spin. Fox now just doesn't have a spin. It didn't appear to me to be. I mean, they do when it comes to politics, but like I ain't finding this stuff anywhere. I had to really dig, Yep, look up the farmers in France. It's insane what's going on and what they're doing to people over there. Tons of dairy farmers from here in California moved to Texas the last 3 decades. Yep, protest everywhere. European farmers spraying manure on the legislative buildings is classic.
Oh man.
I agree. I've heard that we should watch what happens in Europe and it will come shortly after, which is typical, right? It'll happen in Europe first and come to us later. Guys, wait till the banks shut down and people can't get their money. Wait till Trump is elected or not elected, either one.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Here in Northwest Arkansas, a chicken processing plant pulled contracts on growers. They came in and spray foamed the chicken houses, killing thousands of chickens. Oh my goodness. Hey, Chuck from Homestead Medical's in the house. How are you, bud? Yeah, Fox sold out years ago. I couldn't agree more. All this unrest around the world was happening before cough, cough. Now it's gearing up again. Cough, cough was used to disperse it. This is true. There was a lot of these riots going on. If you guys remember the ones in France, now these were over unions and benefits and stuff, right? But they were all coming up. Yeah. COVID came. I remember that. And I think that's, yeah.
Interesting.
The revolution will be podcasted. Yes, it will. And you just got to try to find a way to find the information, which definitely isn't easy, right? You got anything positive to talk about? Let's change topics.
Tomorrow's lady's birthday.
Tomorrow's who? Oh, freestanding lady.
Lady.
Yep, our cow's birthday.
Yep. She'll be 1 year old. We're going to make a cake. No. She had plenty of sweet feed. She's not getting anything else.
Yeah, you gave her a whole trash can full of
two
sweet feed.
Cans full of sweet feed. Yeah, I'm sure she ate. And then they did not come back for dinner. They were all laying in the
field.
In the field. Yes. Just full as can be. So got cedar trees transplanted and mulched.
Oh yeah, like 500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 rows of cedar trees planted at the front fence, so that's closest to the road, and that's 2,200 feet long. And she put one every 3 feet, right? Because she's going to cut some out of there once we figure out what it takes.
Yeah.
So 2 rows, 3 feet apart, 2,200 feet long, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. That was trying to get a tan line on vacation.
Yeah, you are on vacation.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm doing work. Sometimes I'm making coffee.
You want another new topic?
Oh, I did
good.
I did a new short and I didn't post it. I recorded it though. So I'm doing half of my part, just not all of it.
Jen says, far away from apple trees, cedar rust is no fun. Yeah, and I'm sure you know this, Jen, but there's there's a fair amount of apples that are resistant to cedar apple rust, but that's, you got to get the particular kinds like the red delicious and the yellow delicious and the Arkansas black, and some of them are all rust resistant. But yes, they are far away, but the problem is where I live, cedars are so prominent.
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're super prominent. So we just went to buying cedar resistant trees. Let me see here. Suppose a bug plant will catch on fire. 0 chance. Right? B has a tractor for protest. Tag, maybe you married a rebel prepping up for times.
I was enjoying those tractor pictures, but mine's prettier.
Of course it is, right? Now,
Yeah.
It's not something to just sit in and listen to the radio.
I was actually thinking that if I parked it closer to the house, I could admire it better. Because right now it's behind the house. And I saw it one time when I went to do chores when I came back, but otherwise I can't see it.
Yeah.
And I think that if we parked it out front, I can enjoy it more.
Amy says, anything to spray on apple trees to prevent or subvert the rust? Not that I'm aware of, but Amy, for us, we just went to the resistant breeds, and
there are so many cedar trees to you can't get away from it here.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Yeah,
and the trees to spray them, I don't know. That would be quite a chore because right now not because they're tiny, but eventually that would be a problem. Or getting the stuff, or what is the stuff?
Right. Yep. I think again, it's about
being intentional.
Right. It's about
being
looking out and saying, okay, this is what I've got to deal with, and what's the best to deal with it. Ready for your topic?
Yeah.
Let me see here. LJC says Nicole Sauce says that crab apples are cedar rust resistant and produce a good amount of pectin. Yeah, they're also crabapple trees also make good rootstock. Right? Let's see here. So you guys know I like Mr. Tom Massey, and he said had an interesting on February 24th had an interesting tweet. He said the federal income tax was unconstitutional for most of our country's existence. The founders of this country would have never agreed to it. We should repeal it. We need more people like that in the office. Right? Let me see here. Tamara says you got to have a shed to put that tractor in. Shame on you, Tamara.
That is next.
Shame
Tamara.
on you.
Thank you for upping that on my list.
Yep. I found what was interesting is this tweet. It said in this, they were talking about the banking and all the stuff that's going on. It says, I'm not telling you to give up. I'm telling you to get serious. Let me back up. Those are flip-flopped. I'm going to read the right one first. Allow me to make a prediction. The Biden regime is not going to give up power in 2024. This will shock the majority of Americans who still live mentally in a free country that exists only in their memory now. You should spend the next 8 months preparing for the end of America. I'm not telling you to give up. I'm telling you to get serious. I'm telling you to get prepared. How much will you fight for your freedom? What are you prepared to do to protect your civil liberties? Are you a free citizen or a slave? We're about to find out. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Who was she?
And look what they're doing at Amos Miller in Pennsylvania. That's the Amish farmer, right?
Yeah.
And DR says stack lead. That's a great place to put money. Amy says, can you have a shed with an integrated wallapini?
Oh, I don't know.
And they're asking about your barrel of honey.
I have not ventured into that yet. I still have a bucket on the kitchen counter.
Oh, I forget one. Oh, yeah, there was another one, another tweet. Whatever it was. It says, did you guys, I never heard anything about this, which is why I put this one in here. But they were talking about when Tucker Carlson went to Russia, that apparently a terrorist attack on Tucker Carlson was reportedly prevented when he visited Russia for his interview with Vladimir Putin. And it was allegedly planned by the main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine, leading to the arrest of a man named, I ain't even going to try, in Moscow.
That is a name.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce it. What do you think that is?
I was going to say Vaseline.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But I think that's super interesting too. Let me see here. Yeah, shed protecting your investment. Yeah, the problem is I got to build them. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. Yep. That is super well said, Hancock. Yep. Let me see here. I've been here for the whole live, but YouTube wouldn't let me comment until now. Well, Lisa, welcome. And I'm glad you commented, and I don't know why they do that. B, do you want us to bring another bucket of honey next week?
I didn't realize that was you.
Yeah, babe. You kidding? Parrot?
I didn't know that one. I mean, now it makes sense.
Hey, go like this. Go.
Come on now. Yeah. Why not?
You want another one?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my gosh. Today, the FBI had the Blaze reporter for J6 filming frogged, marched him in chains for a few misdemeanors. They never give up. Yeah, the Biden administration. Oh, yeah. The Biden administration probably put out a hit on Tucker. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm betting they did. If anything happens, there's going to be a lot of good men doing some necessary stuff. Yeah, I'm really worried about it. And I think what we have to do is get super focused on not just stacking, because I think that we create ourselves a problem by doing that. Stacking with a purpose. What's the long term? What's the how do we keep that stacking going when there's nothing else there, right? Just like getting chickens and turkeys that are great at foraging. That's a bigger issue to me now than it would have been 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, because that wasn't something that we had ever thought of. That wasn't part of our.
No, it was let's get some eggs.
Woohoo!
Right, let's get some eggs. Let's get some chickens. Let's get some eggs because they can produce eggs. That will be great. But
yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's
with no thought to what to do after that.
Yeah.
We're just going to feed them.
Yeah.
And then the cost of everything is so much greater. I was at the grocery store, had to get a thing of peanut butter. Like finally ran out of the peanut butter that I had been, well, not ran out, but it was getting low. And so I thought, I'm seeing a hole I need to stuff. And so I went to the grocery store and a thing of peanut butter was like $9.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess I'll go into the bigger town and see what they are there. Cause $9 for a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Ah, gosh.
She don't get out much.
Well, and I'm eating food that I purchased, last week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I guess I was just shocked.
Yep. One step closer says build connections. Yep. Nito says, I'm looking to set up systems, not just stacking. I think that's smart. Hancock says sustainability will be key. I think it will be more than key. I think sustainability will be the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
I think this is Hancock. I think this is the issue. And I think we got to push every system we build. And I don't know all the answers, but I think when we go into something, we try to push it this way as hard as we can, because stacking it just isn't going to count.
Well, and that's why we're learning about being intentional, because we, like you said, getting eggs. Yay, we got eggs. And then come to find out we can feed them with stuff on our property and not have to feed them, like pay to feed them or. Yep.
Pete says, how about those sheep? That's a sheep right there. I've got my phone pulled up on my other screen, Scotchy, so she can see it. Yep. Water is key. And if you think you have enough water, you don't, you need to add more.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, make sure you add more after that too. Yep. Sheep are sounding viable for a milk source. I don't have the acreage for cattle. Yep. Pockety says, I got new tires for the pickup. Big shock. Still got them down $30 a tire, but ouch. On the other hand, I got new tires. Yeah, someone else got new tires too that didn't need them. Yeah, sticker shock is real. Sticker shock is real. And man, I'm telling you, it seems to be grumpy, just seems to be worse and worse and worse, everywhere we go. And it's every single thing we do. This is kind of why I think it's, if you got something you want to go purchase, if you got something like the tractor was a great example.
Yeah.
I probably would have waited a while had we not been living in the times that we're living in. Yeah. Right. Because again, in my business, I'm experiencing supply chain shortages now. We deal with them all the time. I just really think if you got something out there, or you got a goal, quit sitting on your money. It ain't gonna do you any good. It's time to put that stuff into action. Oh, LJC, look at that statement. Why don't you read that? That is perfectly.
Sustainability will be the difference between standing and kneeling. That was hard to swallow. She's right, though.
He says, I was looking into almond milk, bought a lot of almonds, haven't found an udder yet. It's because it ain't milk. Just heard today they are labeling people who live in rural areas as terrorists. I've actually got some interesting news articles, not exactly on that, but.
So if almond milk is not almond milk, would it just be almond juice?
Paste?
Nut juice? No, because it's you juice it. You.
I'll bet you if you test almond milk, there's more in it than just almond.
You don't think they just pureed it to its finest?
No.
Water. They added water.
They put some almond flavoring in some water or whatever. Stepping in, it says, what breed of turkey do you prefer? The Narragansett is what we want to raise full time, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, stepping in it, but because of their ability to deal with predators, because of their eyesight, because of their mothering, because they're good foragers, and their temperament.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Look at all those people. Hey, Salty Dog, what's going on? Yep, blessings to you as well. Okay. All right, you want to talk about something else?
Sure.
Okay, what do we got here?
He's pondering.
Yeah, I found this super, super interesting. You guys know how I am. So I really like to read an article and then find what it is that's really going on behind the scenes. So the article, which is 4 hours ago, so it's today, says, empower the public and policymakers. Biden issues gun control executive order. An important part of the Biden administration strategy is to promote the safe storage of firearms. You like that, right?
They
People
should be stored safely.
They should be stored safe, right? That makes sense, right? And think of all of the, dent we could do with all the problems that causes in our country, right? Little kids shooting themselves, people accidentally shooting themselves. What I found funny is that according to 2021, 43% of all gun deaths were murder, 54% was suicide, and 3% was other. Other is defined as gun deaths were accidental, involved law enforcement, or had undetermined circumstances. Why would you be spending your time with everything that's going on with the Ukraine and all of these things? Why would you be spending your time on something that represents probably less than 1% of all the deaths? Why would
gun control? Well, if they had gun control.
Why are we creating executive orders to get rid of gas dryers and to deal with safe storage of guns, even though it represents almost no problem? Right? Why?
Well, that's what they're saying.
Is this just to keep us busy?
If stored safely, then there would be no murders or suicides or other, because there would not be any available to be used.
So you think the safe storage, what they're talking about is people stealing them and then using them? Sounds like a reach to me.
If you had them stored safely, then people wouldn't be able to use them to cause 43% more of murders or kill themselves with them, because they would be stored safely.
Yeah. I think it's a complete reach.
Of course it is.
Today is Friday and it's extra salty. Yeah. The day we gave up our guns is the day we are really done. Yeah, we might be done anyway, but
Johnny still says, complying.
Yeah, Johnny says, if it's stored safe in my holster. Yeah, posturing, virtue signaling, and appeasing the uninformed masses. It just seems like such a waste of energy, especially with everything else that's going on. Drives me nuts. They should want guns so folks can depopulate themselves, save them the trouble. Yeah, except they want
to depopulate themselves.
Well, no, it's not that. It's that, yes, it might work as depopulating, but it's also a credible threat to them, right? Yes. They'd rather depopulate us by poisoning our food, creating customers instead of cures in our healthcare, right? They would rather go at it that way. It is a distraction, 100%. Yeah, let me see here. Redneck, good evening, says if they are in possession, the guns are stored safely. Yeah, right. Great.
If they're in possession of them.
Right. This is why the Mexican cartel across the border don't end up with American weapons all the time, right?
Because it'd be stored safely.
Yeah. He can add the gun safety statistic to his upcoming campaign. He's not going to be able to say gun safety statistic. Dan, the mummified meat puppet is not going to be able to articulate any of this.
He's concentrating.
Obesity is now a greater threat to global health than hunger, a new Lancet study has found. Ooh, I love that, wow. G. Johns. I wish I'd have read that. I'd have put that in live. If murder and suicide go up, doesn't the U.S. get more carbon credits? Maybe. Dan says that's a good point. Oh, it just drives me nuts. Here's another one. So you guys know that this week that the French president, Macron, appeared kind of isolated on stage, but he is the first one to call out and say, hey, it's possible for Western troops to be sent to the Ukraine. So this is a new thing, right? So they're announcing, as they always do, right? They'll tell you a little bit ahead of time, kind of plant the seed of what's coming. So this is the first step in getting American troops and NATO troops into fighting Russia.
Yeah.
So he came out and said it, and he was kind of isolated when he said it, kind of stood a little bit alone, but this is how it always goes, right? They come out and say, hey, we got this little virus, right? It won't be, remember, two weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah.
Right. Take one for the team. You heard all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Yeah. So be prepared. We're going to war with Russia, as I've been saying for a while. You guys, anybody got a guess what these red dots are? Here's my trivia for the day. B, what do you think they are?
I don't know, like earthquakes or something.
B says earthquakes. Yeah, Hickshaw says we need to outlaw forks. That will slow down the obesity epidemic.
They're just going to eat with their hands.
Right.
That's like a Whopper.
Hancock said we are done. We are bred out of our own culture, policied out of our own survival, and policied out of our liberties. Perfectly said.
Yikes.
I'm going to leave that one up for a little bit. That is perfectly said. He's right, though. I mean,
I know what that kind of stings
Yeah.
as he says it.
well, but, putting our head in the sand ain't going to help anything, right? Yeah. Jules says the majority of the countries are saying no troops in Ukraine, but it already been shown that most countries already have troops in Ukraine. There have been special forces troops in Ukraine for a while. Pete says nuclear submarines. Hickshaw says submarines. Big Kid says Navy assets. Yep. Rhonda says American troops. Yeah. So what these circles represent, these are active training exercises the U.S. military is doing right now as we speak. So, and each one represents, like the one over there in Africa, there's a couple African countries and they're doing a big training exercise in Kenya. And there's ones going on up in Sweden. And then Pakistan, interestingly enough, with Jordan and Saudi Arabia in the United States, are doing another one, as is the Philippines, Japan, and South Korea. And so these, isn't it interesting that there's Russia, there's China, and look at all those military assets. Over half of our aircraft carriers are deployed right now. Isn't that interesting? If you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. The U.S. government has been changing the history so the useful idiots don't understand what's actually going on. Yeah, I mean, and proof of that is every single time they change the definition of something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know what a boy and a girl is anymore. Sanity. This one here was super interesting to me. So this was an article comes out of Texas, and so military presence behind Donald Trump during border speech raises alarms. Footage of the adjutant general standing in military uniform behind Donald Trump during his speech on border security has sparked controversy online, with one commenter terming it a terrible failure of leadership. Major General Thomas Sulzer, the Texas adjutant general, was behind Trump on Thursday when the former president delivered his address during a visit to Eagle Pass, Texas. Sulzer also heads the Texas Military Department and is the most senior uniformed Texas National Guard officer. Yeah, how interesting is this? It causes all of this uproar, and it's causing an uproar because you have a active duty military personnel standing behind a candidate, right? And the military is supposed to be, and I remember when I was in the military, and they talked about this a lot, that you're not respecting the person, you're respecting the position, and that's your president, and whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, it makes no difference. Your job's to serve. But I think what we're seeing is, again, these big dividing lines go. And I think Texas is going to kind of be the heartbeat for a lot of this, what we call the greater reset. They're standing up to the feds, which I love. But Jane says, oh, I love to have seen that. Yep. The fox is minding the chicken coop. I wonder how many people from the U.S. will go to Ukraine and fight Russia for these dirty ass politicians. Yeah, but how many are not going to have a choice, right? Great setup, isn't it? Deploy American protection as Americans being invaded. Brilliant, said no one that's smart ever. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
We're running out of alphabets to identify ourselves. It is just a mess. But I will tell you guys that it's perfectly fine for Biden to do it. That picture was taken the exact same day with Border Patrol, right? But because he's the active president and one's a candidate, not so much the case, I guess. This was funny to me, too. The white rule rage that could put Trump back in the White House.
Oh.
Right? This is an actual article that I read today. Right? And listen to this. The disproportionate power rule voters wield and their unusual devotion to Trump are among the topics Tom Schaller and I explore in our new book, White Rule Rage. The threat to American democracy through the Electoral College, the undemocratic Senate, where Wyoming's 600,000 residents hold the same influence as California's 39 million residents, and gerrymanders in red states that use rural voters to make the GOP control impenetrable. Rural voters exercise a disproportionate power no other group enjoys. How interesting is this? Because Lisa says, I'm honored. Says, I just got a Biden commercial interrupting your live. Yeah, how amazing is that? I think it's crazy to think that anybody would even suggest that the 600,000 residents in Wyoming have the same influence as the 39 million in California. That's not how the Electoral College works. What he's saying is they still have a senator, right? But, this is, again, more and more separation. And, they're trying to make anyone that looks like Trump to be, made out to be this dumbass, Abbott could have closed the border several years ago and didn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think the question is that, you try to do it through what you're taught how to do, and it don't work, and then boom, maybe he finally just stood up. But either way, whatever it is, I'm glad he's standing up now. Haikshaw says in the 60s, Khrushchev said communism would take over America without firing a shot. Yes, he did. Yep. Notice how they always have to specify race. Of course, that's more, right?
Division.
It's more division. I got booted off after my comment. Always accuse your opponent of that which you are guilty. Yeah. Chinese bases of influence. Yeah, if you guys remember the sheriff from Ohio,
yep.
He admitted in a press conference, that there are Chinese safe houses in every single state. Yeah, this absolutely blew my mind. Big Kid said, "I'll be right back. Out to check things."
To check things.
Let's see what else we got going on here.
Stuff and things.
Did you guys hear that the American revolt against green energy has begun?
Oh.
I actually think this is super fascinating. So I say that a lot, don't I?
It is. There's a lot of things that are fascinating.
Yeah. U.S. county governments are increasingly refusing to host renewable energy industries. In a story filled with all the standard climate alarmist narratives, the USA Today recently reported on the rising movement by local governments in the United States to refuse to permit unwanted wind and solar industrial sites in their jurisdictions. We're going through that here, right? After setting the stage by parroting the Biden administration goals of 100% clean energy by 2035, a goal that depends on the building of large-scale solar and wind, the USA Today points to the reality that such big, intrusive, ugly, and destructive industrial sites have been rejected by twice as many county governments as that approve them. The writers complain that the rejections come about by some combination of outright bans, moratoriums, construction impediments, and other conditions that make green energy difficult to build. Again, back to the divide.
Yeah.
Right? It's back to that exact same divide, and they're separating, right? Pretty soon you'll be a racist if you don't like green energy.
Yes.
Yep. I was listening to Sarah Westall today interviewing a Canadian who said there are dozens of Chinese police stations in Western Canada, and they are reaching south into the west coast of the U.S. Yeah. Johnny says windmills are so pretty when they are on fire. What's this? Oh, hacks went to a country freedom meeting Tuesday, and that was the topic. Yeah. It's crazy, some of the stuff that's going on today. I'm telling you, we have got to really, really, really get focused on it, focused on really honing in on our freedoms and really honing in on our ability to withstand, because unfortunately, I don't see any quick fix. And I don't think this is going away anytime soon. I just don't.
You don't think that the government's here to help?
Yeah, no. Pathogen puzzles. Scientists say there's now smoking gun evidence that shows COVID-19 was deliberately engineered in Chinese lab.
I thought they came back and said it was not.
Yeah, this is a brand new article that just came out, and what they were talking about was that they found, this is just more of the story, right? They found a document that elevates the evidence, providing that genome sequence from a level of noteworthy to the level of a smoking gun. The document, hold on, where does it say here? Outline the experiments to engineer bat coronaviruses. In 2018, there's a document that was leaked from a lab. This is 2018, right? It indicated the potential manipulation of the virus to enhance its transmission to humans. And there was another article that came out this week. I don't know why I didn't put it in here, but that I find it interesting that the contracts the government wrote with Moderna and with a lot of these other companies, right? I was telling you about this earlier this week, that in order to do the vaccines, those were done within 60 days of the release of the coronavirus, where it really started to come about. And I'm telling you, I've been in a lot of negotiations. It takes a year to put a contract together like that. And so there's just more and more coming out. I like to add these kinds of things because you guys know how I feel about the whole COVID thing. It cost a lot. I paid a heavy price. And I am looking forward to having all that evidence come out, and someday we'll see what really happened. But Jules says, remember all the biolabs in Ukraine? And there's a bunch of them. And I'm telling you guys, America will not let Ukraine lose. NATO will not let Ukraine lose. And they can't. So a Trump win will only slow down the World Economic Forum's plan temporarily. Yeah, I'm not sure it would even slow it down, but I would hope, right? I knew deep in my bones it was engineered as soon as it came out. Don't need MSM to confirm it. Yeah. Good night. I need a shower and some rest. Good night, bud. Yep. Let me see here. I live in ag country north of New Orleans. Beautiful rolling hills and grazing land to be sold to put solar farms to send power to New Orleans. Ugly. Nothing green about these hideous farms. Yep. So why do you think that article study was not censored? Oh, I think everything I read is censored, Mo, to be honest with you. And I don't 100% believe anything I've read tonight or anything I've read on any of the other ones. I mean, I think the question is, how do we know it's right? I mean, you and I have talked about this a million times, Mo. I don't know. As did I, Tag, have turned it into a blessing, though. Yeah, that's all you can do, right? Hickshaw says there's 56 labs in the Ukraine. I think there's a whole bunch of evidence there. And I also think that it's a great way to launder money. Biden says, here's a big one. Biden says that U.S. is now going to carry out airdrops of aid into Gaza. So our ally, Israel, gets attacked. And guys, don't misunderstand. Israel is no, saint. They did plenty wrong, but they get attacked. We defend them. We send aircraft carriers over there. We help them with logistics, and now we're dropping aid to Gaza. Just crazy. One Step Closer says they cut down old growth forest in Germany to build solar plants. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when the plastic bag was going to save the world because we were killing it with our paper bags and trees.
Yeah, the trees. And now the oceans are being killed by the plastics.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane to me. Just absolutely insane. The whole thing. I think, I can cover all the topics I want. And, we do a lot of it because it's fun and it keeps me going. But I promise you guys, behind the scenes, B and I, we're the duck. We're calm, but we're paddling like hell every single day. And, just trying to get it in, trying to find the right way, trying to make it easier, right? Because you can't take care of everything. Guys, a family of two, a husband and a wife, will have a hard time managing a homestead big enough to supply all your needs by yourself. You got to shave every minute you can shave, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just do. If you can take the chores from a 20-minute deal to a 15-minute deal, that 5 minutes is super important.
To do something else.
Because
there's only so many hands and so many hours.
That's right. And before all the shit goes completely out there, get your infrastructure in. And, last year I dumped, I don't even know how many hundreds of buckets of mulch in Bee's gardens and all the walkways and all the mounds and in all the swells. And that's infrastructure that now I can do without a machine because it's all there now, right? And trenching your water lines, and just all of the things that come in.
To make your life easier, to provide for yourself and make your life easier. Not make your life easier, because it's not easier to grow your own food. We're trying to be more sustainable and know where it's coming from, know what's in it. We are so far from natural as can be.
The Instigator says somewhere in the universe there are other races watching us with big buckets of alien popcorn taking odds.
Know.
I like this one right here. Hickshaw 54 says, what do you suppose was in the folder that Putin gave Tucker? I'll bet you we're going to find out about July. What do you bet? Right? Maybe August as the election comes, Tag, it's going to be rough, but we will win in the end. Just think of how much your own community has grown in the last couple of years. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you the community's grown because we were intentional, bud. And you got to go out and do it, right? You can't Yeah, I can't, and I know you don't mean this, but Jeremy, I know this. I know you, but you can't just sit back and say it's going to be okay.
God will provide.
Nope, it ain't happening. And that's not an God statement. All that's saying is God's going to help them who help themselves. That's what I believe. And
but you have to do something about
gotta
it.
do
You can't
something
just
about
sit
it.
on the couch and go,
Yep.
it's going to happen, because
Yep.
it won't just happen.
Yep.
You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone
Yep.
and do something that's uncomfortable.
Yep. Just do something. And again, I would, it's so funny. I know so many people who want to live this life and can't, or it's just not right, or the timing's not right, or whatever it is. But guys, I'm telling you that those days are getting closer and closer and closer. I've never experienced so much chaos all in the world at one time. There's wars on every single continent except two. And that's Antarctica and Australia. I mean, so yeah. Let me see here. You blew my mind when you told me at SRF that you literally put community building on your schedule every week. Yep. Well, this is the thing, Tim, is you got to be intentional with it, right? Building community is part of my chore list. So I'm doing something this week, and sometimes it's do a land video, or sometimes it's, hey, I'm going to stop by Tractor Supply and chit chat, whatever it is. But I think you have to make an intentional effort to build community. I was wondering if he was saving the folder reveal for the October surprise. Yeah, Guarantee it, right? The problem is, how are we going to fight the F-16? You can't. I mean, if you're talking about here in the country, you can't. What we can do is put us in the best position to withstand. There's a lot of people in this country, and there's not that much on the other side, and it's going to take some time. But if you're not in a position to where you can do something about it, you're not going to be any help. If you've done nothing to grow your own personal freedom, then you're going to be nothing more than a refugee. And so, if you're running around your neighborhood, your county, your city, your state, the United States as a refugee, you're not helping anybody. We have to take that power back into our hands and put ourselves in a position to be able to withstand. Get your life to a place where you can withstand $20 a gallon gas. Right? And the only way you're going to do that is by getting rid of everything else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get yourself, me and B call it.
It's so much easier said than done, though.
Yeah, me and B call it the McDonald's life. I got to figure out how I can run my entire homestead, my whole life, live just fine on a McDonald's income. I have no plans to go to work at McDonald's, just so everybody knows. But
you could.
Yeah, but if I needed to, I certainly could. Let me see here. Simpleton grower question for people who will know: what do white sweet potatoes taste like? I've never had white ones. Have you?
I haven't either.
I have no idea.
I'm sure somebody on here knows.
Yeah, I'm sure. Did you have anything else, babe, on your list you wanted to talk about? I got a couple more things.
Go ahead. No.
Hey, I wanted to tell you that, and I know you're out there. Well, you might not be awake anymore because it's 8:52. But I got some good friends of mine. I'm not going to mention them by their name, but they have been in the community for a while and really kind of struggled in a lot of ways. Things just not working out exactly right. But they seem to be making some ground. And I just want you guys to know I'm super proud of you. You just got to keep hanging in there. That it's what's supposed to be will be, and you just have to have some faith in that, right? But I just wanted to just say that. The other thing is that I found it interesting that the Department of Homeland Security said they want to give you guys some advice on how to prepare for a big cyber attack, which I think is how any major attack will begin anyway, right?
Makes sense.
And I was actually a little bit surprised in what they said, but anybody can guess what the 3 things are they think you should do to prepare. And I'll read some
Get
of these.
Water, food, batteries.
You see, Taco Bell tag, not eat. There's not even a McDonald's where you live, right? Whatever.
To work at Taco
Bell.
Right,
after work at Taco Bell, right? Right. The same way every other enemy has fought them, surviving as a movement, but with a huge attrition. Yep, win or lose, no rebel movement has faced advanced technology and force without massive losses. Yeah, I have no urge for that. Yep, bicycle, that's a good one. Yep. Never had them just orange and Japanese purple, which were super sweet.
Japanese purple sweet potatoes.
Yeah, Mandy says, I love white sweet potatoes, popular among the Asian. I didn't know that. Such a great live feed. Thank you guys. So many great topics. Thank you guys. And thanks for motivating me. I keep trying.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. sometimes the whole mess gets overwhelming. It does, but see, this is the thing, is that we got to choose to, or try to choose, Gregory, to stay focused on what we're doing. You guys don't know this about me, but I actually don't watch the news all week long. When I start getting towards the end of the week and I know that the live is coming, I donate, 3 or 4 hours to every live to go and find articles that I find interesting, that I think you will find interesting, and I go through it. But the rest of the time, tomorrow morning, guys, guess what? I'm getting up when the sun comes up, and I'm busting butt. And I'm going to work all day long until the sun goes down. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. And I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm not going to be doing those things. I'm going to be trying to get us just a tiny bit freer. Hey, Mary Michelle. Swinging in right at the end.
Welcome.
Yep, for sure.
After
okay.
breakfast.
So nobody has any ideas on what DHS said. Well, I'll tell you. So
I said water.
You said water.
Water.
Yep.
Batteries.
Yep. So DHS said these are the 3 things you need to survive. A generator was number 1 on their list, which I found pretty interesting. But that one kind of made sense, okay? Because cyber-tech takes the power down, right? And there's a lot of ways you could take the power down, but one way would be you just turn the voltage up. So the voltage coming in your house would be hot. And if it's hot, you don't have any way to suppress that heat, right? Or that extra, you could actually burn your house.
Hot?
Well, the temperature, right? They turn up the voltage.
Oh.
Not temperature. They could turn up the voltage, but which could create fires. But anyway, they didn't even mention that. But generator. The next thing was an extra way to communicate, ham radio, those
communication
kind of things.
device.
And the third one was a not online data storage place.
What?
A way to store your data that's not on the internet. A backup, a hard drive.
No food?
They didn't mention food. They didn't mention water. They didn't mention any one of those.
But back up your data.
Back up your data. Get an extra set of communications and get a generator. That's their advice. I feel much safer now to know that. I feel much safer way to know that. Do you feel safer now?
No.
I do.
The generator to power the communication device.
Yeah, Grumpy, seriously, that's what the article said. It's just shocking me that that's what the 3 things they would say. Like, I was thinking, I almost didn't even click on the article. I'm thinking, here we go again, food and water, a radio, and, a way to stay warm or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Right. That's what I expected to say. Of course they need data. Remember the colony. Ha ha ha. Right. And if the system goes down, they want all your data protected so that they can come back to mining and enslaving you later. Right. They want to be able to give food and water out to control you more. Oh, great point.
Oh, they'll provide the others. Stand in line.
Yep, that's right.
And we're here to help.
Don't worry about food and water, etc. Government will provide for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, look at how crazy people got over the AT&T outage. Oh, yeah, wait till the big one comes. That was a little one. Yeah, one step closer says ammo. Yeah, absolutely just crazy to me. One last thing I'm going to talk about, and then we'll say some parting words. We'll get out of here. We're an hour and 57 minutes. Hey, real quick update on the Food Forest Academy. We've kind of negotiated through it all a little bit. Now it's just up for me and B to decide if that's where we want to invest those resources, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to have a conversation here over the next, little bit and figure out what we want to do. Super excited about it. They're super excited about the project. It is going to take a significant amount of investment, either by me or by our community, to go through it. But I will spread the word. I'll see what kind of interest there is out there. I like it because what they'll do is they will fly out here. They'll take soil tests, and then they'll give me an engineered set of plans on what to plant where, what to plant with what. They said it'd take them about a month to complete it. And I just think having those engineered plans based upon this area, this dirt, this exact thing versus getting online and just reading about a food forest, right? Well, it doesn't really apply because I'm going to tell you Jim Gale's food forest that he has down there at Galt's Gulch won't grow here. Right. Zero luck growing it here. Right. And so I think that's
has to be adapted.
It has to be adapted here
and intentional.
We've got super great resources between like the Buffalo Seed Company, right? We have the seeds to grow anything we would want to grow, particularly for this area. We've got Food Forest Abundance and the Food Forest Academy, working on coming in. I'm going to go on their YouTube channel and that stuff coming up here pretty quick, I think. But anyway, we are closing in. Mandy wants to know, what is a Food Forest Academy? So a Food Forest Academy is birthed that the idea of a guy named Jim Gale, who runs Food Forest Abundance. And he wants to create food forest academies all over the country, many, like 4 or 5 in every single
Like
state,
schools.
where people could come and learn how he thinks food is the key to everything. And where people could come and learn how to grow their own food and learn how to grow food forests and learn how to,
And
also animals.
It doesn't look like food, really.
No,
I mean, it looks like food if you're looking, but
Yeah.
it's like disguised kind of, because it just looks like a forest, and it doesn't, like my garden looks like rows
Right.
of cabbage. This looks like tall stuff and short stuff and branchy stuff, and it's not manicured like a row garden, so it's not as seen, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and it also combines the food with living off grid and solar and these different places to be able to demonstrate rainwater catchment and all of the different parts that it talks about living free. And they want to partner with me and my farm, and they're going to put up some of the money, and I'm going to put up some of the money if we decide to do this, right? B and I are still working on this to bring it here. And
to where we'll have an academy here, a learning center.
Yeah.
And
but I've had 7 or 8 meetings in the last week. And so I think I understand it pretty well. So now we just got to kind of go down it. But we will certainly do that. And it'd be neat to grow medicine. It'd be neat to grow food. It'd be neat to do all of those things in a way that comes back every year, that you're not managing it every year.
Yeah. And you know where it came from. You know what it is.
Right? How many water bowl advisories do we get, here
weekly,
and other places?
There's like one a day of towns all around us.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this. 2 ads in a row cut you off. Oh my goodness. I don't know how. I was when I set this live up, I was digging in there, seeing if I could find a way to affect it. Really, my only option is to turn it off. That's really all. I don't really have another ability. But anyway, what you got? We'll just get you some inspirational words, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I was just going through all of the crap that we're seeing all over the world, and that I learn something new every time I get up here with you. But
what'd you learn?
Of all the fighting and the wars and our people are deployed.
Fairy farts.
Yep. And tractors. But we really do have to be intentional with what we're doing. And it was something that we kind of overlooked when we first started this, because it was just get what you can, when you can, do with what you can, free stuff, used stuff, what we can, come across. And that's worked for us. It's worked for us. We've learned, we've gotten where we are now, but being intentional in the process of like getting birds that can fend for themselves if we don't have the food to feed them. Obviously in the wintertime, that's a whole different situation, but, and then too, just continuing to learn. So the birds we got, the tractor, just trying to be intentional in your actions. Be purposeful.
Yeah. I think, I don't know how we got onto that tonight, but I think that's a great way to leave.
Because it started way earlier.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to leave about being intentional. Be intentional about building community.
Right.
Be intentional about growing your food and not wasting your energy capital, right? Be intentional about your water. Be intentional about your power. Be intentional about all of them, right? And I think if we can be intentional and we can do it with a purpose every day, we get a whole lot more done. Now, that's not to say you don't go get what you can get, because at the time, like with our chickens, we got what we could get. And that's where we were in our journey. It was perfectly acceptable. We made the right decision, but we're in a place now in our journey where I can start looking at taking that structure to the next level.
Yeah. Or if you have an option, that was, we didn't think about being intentional when we were looking at food or what.
Yeah.
So it's just another way to look at it, I guess. You talk about the front side money, backside money, trying to be intentional.
Yeah.
Trying to, how can I save a few dollars on the end by having birds that feed themselves the majority of the time helps us in the long run to not have to have the Taco Bell job to buy the feed to feed the birds to feed us.
Yeah. Hey, Tim says William Bond is doing that south of y'all in Texas. Not trying to sway against Jim and his companies, but it definitely can be done without as much of an investment. Well, the truth is, this is not, I don't think, that expensive. And when you consider they're going to fly out here, spend a bunch of time testing soils and doing all of that, I think it's a fair deal. I don't know what William charges, and I know William, and he would do an absolute fine job, as would Billy, as would a lot of them. The Jim Gale and them approached me about having an academy, and they're going to eat a significant part of the cost as this whole thing goes forward. But we'll see.
Is Williams doing? He goes because he went to Tennessee, right? He went to another community members of ours to look at their land and to give them options. So I know he does that, but he doesn't have an academy, right? Where he has people coming to him.
Right. He's doing the food forest. And what we're doing is a little different. We're going to do the food forest, but we're also doing working on how do we create that learning center.
Yeah.
And I get to use their engineers, and I get to use them for, a long period of time. And I get to go through that whole process if we just choose to do it, which again is something me and B need to talk about. But, anyway, guys, listen, love you guys. And thank you guys for being here tonight. Thanks for all the encouragement. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for making it worthwhile for me to, spend the time up here and for B to spend the time up here. We're going to get back to work tomorrow. I'll try to get another video out pretty quick here, probably on the community building, because that's kind of been on the front, us estimating it.
You don't want to go through a garden video.
Actually, I'm hoping you film a whole bunch tomorrow when you and your friends are up there doing your thing, But yeah, I hope you film a whole bunch. Those would be my expectations if your expectation is to meet mine.
What?
You guys have a good night. Tag and be out. See everybody.